So we're going to crack on now looking at the William Hill Ledger on Saturday. Binners, have you got the latest prices for us, please?
I have indeed, Maddie. Yeah, we're 3-1 Crystal Ocean for Sir Michael Stout. Then 4-1 Capri, the Irish Derby winner. 5 Stradivarius and Defoe. 9 Coronet, 10 Venice Beach, and it's 12-1 Bar.
Okay, fantastic. I think this is one of the best ledgers I've seen for years. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Tom, kick us off. I know you were quite keen on Crystal Ocean. Is that still the case?
I'm quite keen on a couple. I did a thing for the Racing Post a few months ago, and I like Crystal Ocean and Defoe, so I like both of them. I much prefer them to Stradivarius. I think Capri's obviously in there, but I'm not sure his preparation's quite as good as it could have been. Normally, Naden would use a run in between the Irish Derby and coming to the St. Ledger, so I'm not sure he'll be at top whack. So I think, yeah, Stradivarius stays well, but I'm not sure he's quick enough. So for me, it's a shootout. I like Crystal Ocean and Defoe. I think the ground's going to be the key. I think it's soft at the moment. There's more rain forecast. I think the softer the ground, the more I like Defoe, actually. I just think he's an improving horse that's done absolutely nothing wrong. I think his form stacks up really well, and I think it's between the two, yeah.
Oh, well, you say that. So Daniel Gormally asks, do you think that Crystal Ocean will get home, given how he acted before the race last time? And his pedigree, maybe he's not nailed on to get the trip. What would you say to that?
He's not nailed on to get the trip, that's for sure. I think, judging by the way, I think class can get you through this. Through the St. Ledger, I think Locarno won it one year when he didn't really stay, and a few others down the years have won it just through class. Whether he wins or not, whether he stays, I think he probably will. But for me, the ground's the issue, isn't it? I mean, soft ground makes it a much more of a stamina test than you'd expect. So I like Defoe and him. I think they're the class of the field now.
I'm a big Defoe fan. I think he looks like the horse with the most quality in the field. What do you reckon? You Defoe fan, Crystal Ocean, something else?
No, Tom's hit the nail on the head, really. A lot of this is going to depend on the ground, and it's soft at the moment. And if there's, it wouldn't take a lot more just to keep that soft in it all week long, in which case you're going to have to stay pretty well. Out of the two, I think Defoe is probably the strongest there. I thought he looked very good at Newbury last time. I mean, his main market rival, Frontiersman, he seems to have gone completely off the boil. So potentially, if you wanted to nitpick, you could point to him as kind of letting the form down a little bit. Well, I thought he won very well. He looks very progressive. I think he's a definite stayer. I would take the point about Crystal Ocean. I think he's probably not a definite stayer, and you could easily bring him back to a mile and 2, mile and 4, and he'd probably be fine. So whether he'll just sit out well enough to win, I'm not sure. Venice Beach was my long-range fancy. He got thrashed by Cracksman last time. Obviously, that looks pretty good form now, but whether it's quite enough, I still can't quite see him winning it or being good enough, maybe placed at best. And Capri's a funny one because, as Tom said, we haven't seen him. I mean, if he went literally on his last run, then he'd have a very good chance because he beat Cracksman, but I'm not sure Cracksman then as the horse he is at the moment. So, still a little bit of improving to do for Capri, maybe. It wasn't all that it seemed last time. But again, he's right in the mix. So it is an open race. If I had to pick one, I think it would be Defoe.
Binners, they've mentioned Crystal Ocean and Defoe in quite a lot of detail. Is there anything at the other end of the market that you fancy that was worth mentioning at all?
Really, Maddie. I think Tom mentioned class, and I'm going to go with Capri, the Irish Derby here. I think any horse that can win a classic over 1.5 miles has definitely got a chance in the St. Ledger. All these horses everyone's talking about, Crystal Ocean, Stradivarius, Defoe, they all got potential, but they've got to prove it yet.
Okay, and
Andy, can I throw in one? Rekindling.
Yeah, of course you can.
No one's really mentioned him. The form, he was second to Order of St. George last time. Looks a bit better now after he won the RS St. Ledger by 1,000,000 miles.
Absolutely, tanked it.
He's beaten Capri twice this season already, I think. Finished in front of him twice at least. Maybe just the once in Leopardstown at the start of the season. He stays well. He looked good when he beat Wicklow Brave. The ground might be a slight issue for him if it was very soft, but I think on form he's right in there with the others.
Yeah, okay. Binners, just remind us, what price can we get on Rekindling?
Rekindling? I haven't got the whole market in front of me, I'm afraid, Maddie.
Okay, I think he'll be...
I'm doing this from a car in the Listowel car park.
Class as always. We'll try and get a price on rekindling. I think it'd be probably double figures, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's around 12 to 1, I think.
That's some value there. Anything else appeal to anyone on Saturday? We've also got the Park Stakes and the Champagne Stakes, which Godolphin usually do really well, and they've got Mythical Magic. There's a few others in there that I'm quite interested in. Tom, your 2-year-old radar, like anything in the Champagne Stakes?
Give us 2 minutes. I like Dream Today. Dream Today for Mark Johnson. I thought it was really impressive at York. That was clearly a good race. And Nick might be able to tell me, it was about 70 grand, wasn't it? For a maiden somewhere at York or something. So he's clearly very good. Whether he'll like, he's bred to like soft grounds by Dream Ahead. I do like Hager Man as well, who I think will love the ground. And obviously we've got to mention Aiden will bring one over. Could be Sea Henge, could be US Navy flag or whatever it is, could be Mendelssohn, I think it's called. But he's got a few in there. But the one at the top, Dream, whatever it was called. Dream Today. Yeah, I thought he looked really good at York, so I'd give him another crack.
Okay, what's he anything for you?
No, he's the one I had down on my list in the Park Stakes. I thought Acclaim was quite interesting. Came good at this time last year. I think he won 3 in a row.
And the Joel Stakes, didn't he, at Newmarket, was it? Towards the back
could
end.
well have been one of them. And a good run in France last time. So it looks like he's come to the boil again at just the right time.
7 furlongs, I'm sure that step back up will suit him well. Okay, before the break, here's your chance to win a free £25 or €25 free bet from Paddy Power. Simply tell us who is favourite with Paddy for Saturday's St Ledger. Tweet your answer using the hashtag Postcast and we'll announce the winner on Friday's show. The free bet will be credited to your account. Good luck.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes 2nd, 3rd or 4th to the SP favourite in 2 races today and every day this month. Max £25 per race. T&C supply 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, welcome back to the Monday Postcast. We've covered the main race, the St Ledger. Obviously, that's on the Saturday. The meeting gets underway on the Wednesday. The action really starts to step up a gear on Thursday, though, with the 4 races on ITV. We've got the Mayhill Stakes and the Park Hill Stakes, the big races to cover. I was actually just doing the tipping for this race, was he? What do you reckon in those two? Anything really jump out at you?
Yeah, I was quite disheartened to say that you liked Al Jazeera because when we've combined so far, it hasn't really come off, has it? So
probably not.
That's probably the kiss of death for poor Al Jazeera. But no, it was a good run in the Galtras last time, over a mile and forward. She's putting in some decent late work. So, she was quite interesting for me in the Park Hill and the Mayhill. Tajanis won last 2 on good to soft, so should handle, a bit of dig in the ground, no problem at all. Won the Sweet Solera last time. So, yeah, Tajanis and Al Jazeera would be the 2 for me.
Okay, Tom, anything in these races getting your blood pumping?
Not really. No, not yet.
No?
I totally come on board with your Al Jazeera stuff. She was clearly very eye-catching last time. Looked like she needed the run. Took ages to get going. Stuff up in triple suit. Luca Kumani, Doncaster. What's not to like?
Very true. I like one called Dark Rose Angel as well in the Mayhill Stakes for Simon Crisfield. I think that could be a 2-year-old that could surprise a few. Has there been any great moves for anything on the Thursday?
No, not yet, Maddie. It's quiet enough. In the Mayhill, we make Nialetti the 3-1 favourite, 4-1 Bilston Brook, 5 to Janus for Nick Watts. I like her as well. I think she'll be suited by the mile here, stepping up from 7. Veranda on the same price, 8 to 1 bar. And in the Park Hill, it's 7 to 2 Dubka, 4 Melodic Motion and Natural Scenery, 6 Sweet Selection and 7 to 1 bar. Okay,
you mentioned the Park Hill. In the Park Hill, there's quite a few that we've spoke about Al Jazeera, but there's quite a few that are reappearing from Goodwood. Melodic Motion, obviously. I think she might reverse that form with, was it Endless Time, the winner? What do you make of that, Watsy? Do you think Al Jazeera can win and improve past them, or?
Yeah, Al Jazeera's the one I'm putting up.
Yeah, so, just that.
No, I think it will. I worry about the Goodwood form a little bit. I mean, I know some horses have come out of it and done okay since, but I'm sure we'll come on to talk about Winter in a minute. I don't know if that was a factor in her defeat at the weekend, but a lot of horses had some very hard slogs at Glorious Goodwood this year. So it's you've got to kind of, it's difficult to interpret how they're going to come out of that.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Al Jazeera very lightly raced, very progressive. Tom, I presume you're in agreement with all that, or is there anything from Goodwood in the Park Hill that you think you could give a chance to?
I couldn't agree more. Spot on.
Okay, you're making my job. I don't know if you're making it really easy or really difficult today. We'll move on to Friday. There's a really good card there. We've got the Scepter Stakes, the Flying Childers and the Doncaster Cup. Take your pick. Watsy, go for it.
I just had a quick look before I came on the Doncaster Cup. Max Dynamite, I thought was quite interesting. He's come over and won the Lonsdale Cup before. Obviously went to Australia as well. He came back to some kind of form last time. I think he won a little race at Killarney, somewhere like that.
First race for quite a while, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, I mean, he's been very lightly raced in recent seasons, but I think he probably retains his ability. It'd be interesting in him if he comes over. Scepter Stakes, I think Talayeb, if she runs again, Owen Burrows has kind of hit a rich seam of form in the last month or two, and this was a case at York, one at the Ebor Festival there. And Flying Childers, Heartache, who ran really well in France last time out, not being far at all, should go well. So those three for me would be the ones on Friday.
Nicely summed up. I think Talayeb, that 7 furlongs just looks a key to her, perhaps, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. And, you know, I think Owen Burrows is an underrated trainer. I think he had a difficult job coming in and taking on all these Hamdan horses, and he wasn't a kind of household name before he did it, but he's making a really good fist of it. And like I said, really good last couple of months.
Okay, Tom, Watsy's given us one each for those. How many have you got for us?
Spot on, Watsy. Well done.
Cheers, Tom. Cheers, Tom.
No,
Get the treble on.
To be honest, I've been more interested in the Mallard. I love that William Hill Mallard handicap, Maddie. It's just sort of my type of race. You know, I was interested to see how Mark Johnson's 3-year-old Time to Study ran at Haydock on Saturday. It was a sort of a weird run. He looked like to be first beaten, then all he did was stay on. If he must have had a hard race there. So I've seen entered again in the Mallard. He's definitely a very well handicapped horse, but there's also something quirky about him. He's by Motivator, so I'd be interested in him if he turned up. But as I say, he had a hard race. And there's also the Sideburn Siror horse Game Starter, who looked really good when he beat Barocco 2 starts ago, but then missed a race at York last time, so I don't know what was up with him, but he's obviously stepping a long way up in trip on different ground, but the form of his Barocco win, I think, is really good. So those two would be at the top of my list for the Friday at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Nicely done. Binners, any great movers or great opinions on Friday racing at Donny?
Don't know about great opinions, Maddie, but Montali heads the market for the Doncaster Cup at 11-4. I'll take him on with Sheikh Zayed Road at 4-1. That horse won it last year, and he's 2 from Doncaster. I love him. He's so tough. In the Flying Childers, Havana Grey and Heartache head the market at 5-2, and then you've got Sound and Silence in US Navy Flag at 5-1. I'm keen on Sound and Silence for Charlie Appleby. Won the Roses Stakes at York handily enough, and then caught a Tartar last time at Shaunty. And in the Scepter Stakes, Eternally and Talayeb head the market at 4. Then it's 6 Music Box, My Selection, and Rahana. I think Music Box is very, very consistent. Won a listed race at Galway over 7 furlongs, and I think that this is the horse's best trip.